Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing details. Today, we are discussing the Habring Doppel 3, the third version of the double chronograph or split seconds chronograph created by watchmaker Richard Habring. It is a product of Habring, a company out of Volkermarkt, Austria, that combines his genius with the business acumen of his wife, Richard and Maria Habring, come as a pair. And this watch is their effort to build on the double chronograph that Richard originally designed for IWC in 1992. So the watch was launched in 2013, as you see it right here. You can see a year stamp between the lugs. That's how the yearly production of these is charted and tracked by collectors. It's 42 millimeters in stainless steel. That's the diameter, 15.4 millimeters thick, 52.2 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip, with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll zoom out a little bit so you can get a look at the watch. It's a large watch, there's no doubt about it. Well, it is a dress watch. It is a resolutely sporty dress watch with a very bold modern size. I recommend your wrist be my size or larger. 16 centimeters circumference is fine, but any smaller and you're going to have some lug overlap, and you can see that well from over the top. It's pushed right out to the edge of my wrist. The strap is a high-grade, handmade Jean Rousseau piece. Jean Rousseau makes, among other things, the OEM straps for FP Journes. This is a high-grade strap manufacturer we go to when we think we can accentuate the look of a watch. And this ultra dark strap with contrasting white stitch is a nice complement to the dial, which is blue and silver white. We have the original Habring stainless steel pin buckle, which, like the watch, is principally of satin finish, though it does have some small polished highlights. And then the case, very simple, with blended lugs that are rather slender when viewed head-on. They come to a tapered point, the mid-case, the bezel, space between the lugs, satinated, though you'll note that the satination between the lugs is vertical. We have a vintage-inspired unsigned crown, and then we have the Doppel chronograph mechanism. So this is not start, stop, reset. You can actually start, stop, and reset using just the pusher at 2 o'clock. So let me show you that. The reason this has two pushers is because there is a seconds hand. It is a split second chronograph, and this type of two-pusher split is called a mono-pusher split. Now, the dial is metallic blue, but there are a couple of different metallic blues at play. There is a concentric blue pattern, blue metallic that is circular brushed under the hour track, and then if you look closely at the center dial, it has a curtain-like vertical satination. The registers feature a concentric pattern, and each one is silver white. We have applique indices, and you will note the watch is quite well loomed, including the Arabic numerals. Taking a quick look at the dial in miniature, you can see that we have the Habring logo. You get both of the Habrings. That's why it's Habring squared. There's a little track outboard, some might call it a railroad track, with triangular indices outboard of each hour. And then we have two pre-rolled hands that are curved to prevent optical illusions. One is yellow varnished, and one is white. Turning it all over, the movement base is the Valjoux 7750. That said, Valjoux 7750 parts largely are not used in this movement. It is Habring's own, the AM08 Mono. It is a manual wind caliber that has a 48-hour power reserve, a stop seconds or hacking function. It has a cam and oscillating pinion clutch arrangement, so the cam is responsible for cycling the functions, and then a lateral pinion, which is sort of like a lateral clutch, but an oscillating pinion has much finer teeth. So when you have an oscillating pinion, as every 7750 architecture does, you can press and hold the start trigger and get almost no jump. It can work as seamlessly as a vertical clutch, and that's one of the advantages of the oscillating pinion. That is also why FP Journes uses the oscillating pinion in his own mono-pusher split seconds chronograph. Now, the movement beats away at 8 beats per second. It pivots on 23 joules, and again, just to demonstrate, it does feature a stop seconds function. All of this is water resistant down to 30 meters. So if you like independent horology, if you want a watch from a brand that only makes a few dozen pieces per year, if you want to go beyond the bounds of Switzerland and buy something from Europe as a whole, the broader watchmaking world awaits, and Habring is a great way to get into it with tank-tough mechanicals, a rock-solid company, and a fun aesthetic. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.